What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Wrestling Backlash. Today, we're diving deep into the world of professional wrestling to bring you the definitive countdown of the top 10 female wrestlers of all time. Wrestling has been graced by some of the most extraordinary female athletes who have not only dominated the ring but also shattered barriers and inspired generations. The big question is, who will rank number one? Stay with us as we rank the best of the best. But before we begin, I know this may be a passionate subject for us die-hard wrestling fans, so let's break down my criteria for ranking this top 10 list. 1. In-ring ability, technical skill, storytelling in the ring, and physicality. 2. Charisma, connection with the audience, mic skills, and character work. 3. Impact on the industry, contributions to advancing women's wrestling, pioneering moments, and influence. 4th, championships and accolades, titles won, accolades, and historic achievements. And 5th, legacy, influence on future generations, and lasting contributions to wrestling as a whole. Now, I know everyone has their favorites, and some people may not agree with my top 10 list, but this is what I used to determine my top 10 list of best female wrestlers of all time. Let me know in the comments section below if you think I got this list right, or if you think I missed someone from the list. Ready? Let's get started. Starting off at number 10, Bull Nakano. Bull Nakano was a dominant force in both Japan and America, and widely known for her powerful, hard-hitting style and unique look. In Japan, she was a wrestling icon in All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, but she's perhaps most remembered in the US for her brutal battles with Alundra Blaze in the old-school WWF. Nakano's persona as a ruthless heel was intimidating, and her in-ring ability, particularly her high-flying maneuvers and submissions, made her one of the most feared competitors of her time. Her legacy remains strong in both Japanese and American wrestling. Nakano's career in America was relatively short and may have been missed by some wrestling novices, but her work in Japan and her ability to seamlessly transition between wrestling cultures solidifies her place on this list. At number 9, we have Mickie James. And Mickie James is a true veteran of the ring with a career spanning over 2 decades across multiple major promotions like WWE, TNA, Impact, and NWA. Known for her versatility in portraying both heel and face characters, she's a multi-time women's champion in WWE, and was a cornerstone of the Knockouts division in TNA. Her feud with Trish Stratus in WWE is still remembered as one of the greatest storylines in women's wrestling history. I picked Mickie James at number 9 because of her longevity and adaptability, which are impressive, and her impact on women's wrestling in WWE and TNA is undeniable. However, while she's had a decorated career, her time as the face of the women's division was more limited compared to others on this list. Next up at number 8, we find Chyna. Chyna, the 9th wonder of the world, revolutionized women's wrestling by breaking through barriers that no other female wrestler had before. She competed against men in WWE, winning the Intercontinental Championship twice, and participating in the Royal Rumble. Chyna was an undeniable powerhouse, and her impact on women's wrestling during the Attitude Era was groundbreaking. Her unique blend of strength, charisma, beauty, and fearlessness made her an unforgettable force. Chyna shattered the glass ceiling for women in wrestling, and I think she should have scored higher on the list. But her relatively short in-ring career due to injuries and off-screen controversies keep her from ranking higher, unfortunately. At number 7 is a high flyer and fan favorite, Lita. Lita was a trailblazer for women in wrestling with her unique high-flying lucha libre style. A 4-time WWE Women's Champion, Lita stood out from the pack with her risk-taking moves like the moonsault and Hurricane Rana. Her rivalry with Trish Stratus is one of the most iconic in WWE history, and she became a symbol of the Attitude Era's rebellious spirit. Whether aligned with the Hardy Boys or Edge, Lita made a massive impact on the wrestling landscape. Lita's influence on future generations of female wrestlers, her daring in-ring style, and her role in some of WWE's most iconic storylines earn her a high spot on our list. Coming in at number 6, we have Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, aka The Man, has transformed the women's division over the past few years. Her breakout moment came in 2018, where her fiery promos and relentless work ethic propelled her to main event status. In 2019, Becky made history by becoming the first woman to win the main event of WrestleMania, defeating Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair to become a double champion of the Raw and SmackDown brand women's titles. Her connection with fans and her ability to deliver high-quality matches has cemented her as one of WWE's biggest stars. Becky's rise to superstardom, her multiple title reigns, and her role in breaking the glass ceiling for women in WWE give her a spot among the all-time greats. With her career still ongoing, she may climb even higher in the future. Our 5 brings us one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time. Manami Toyota is widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers, male or female, in history. Competing primarily in Japan, Toyota was a key figure in all Japan women's pro wrestling during the 1990s. Her combination of high-flying maneuvers, technical skill, and athleticism earned her numerous 5-star matches. Toyota set a new standard for women's wrestling and inspired a generation of wrestlers around the globe. Manami Toyota's in-ring ability is second to none, and her legendary matches and influence on future generations make her a true icon of women's wrestling. At number 4, we've got Asuka. Also known as Chyna in Japan, Asuka has been a dominant force in every promotion she's competed in. Her undefeated streak in WWE's NXT remains one of the most impressive in the company's history. With her hard-hitting style, submission-based offense, and unique character work, Asuka has won multiple championships across the globe, including the WWE Raw, SmackDown, and NXT Women's Championships, not to mention the Women's Tag Team titles. Her versatility in playing both face and heel characters adds another layer to her legacy. Asuka's combination of in-ring skill and championship success, both in Japan and WWE, has earned her a reputation as one of the best in the world. She's been a little bit lost in the mix currently with the rise of Rhea Ripley and the quick development of Trish Stratus, but her historic resume is unmatched with the legends. Before we wrap up the countdown and give you the top 3 on our list, we have to give a special mention to 2 more legends who are honorable mentions and have left a lasting mark on the world of wrestling: Bayley and Mae Young. Bayley, also known as the Role Model or the Hugger, is one of WWE's most consistent performers of the last decade. As a member of the 4 Horsewomen, alongside Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, Bayley has played a pivotal role in the women's revolution in WWE. She became the first ever WWE Women's Grand Slam champion, holding the NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Her heel turn in 2019 showed her versatility as a performer, and her rivalry with Sasha Banks cemented her status as one of the best in the world. Bayley's combination of in-ring ability, character development, and groundbreaking championship achievements place her among the most influential female wrestlers in modern WWE history. The next honorable mention is Mae Young. Mae Young's legacy stretches across decades, from the early days of women's wrestling to becoming a beloved figure in WWE's later years. She was a pioneer in the sport, competing during a time when women's wrestling was vastly different from today. Young, alongside fabulous Moolah, helped lay the groundwork for the generations of women that followed. Known for her toughness, charisma, and sense of humor, she remained a part of WWE programming well into her later years, participating in some memorable and often hilarious moments. The annual Mae Young Classic tournament held by WWE is a tribute to her contributions to the business. Mae Young's importance to wrestling's history is undeniable. Her influence on the sport spans multiple generations, and her name will always be synonymous with pioneering women's wrestling. These 2 women, Bayley and Mae Young, both represent different eras but share a common legacy of breaking barriers and setting standards in the world of professional wrestling. They may not have made the final top 10, but their contributions cannot be overstated. Okay, back to our top 10 list, and up next we have number 3, who is one of the most decorated champions in WWE history: Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, the daughter of wrestling legend Ric Flair, has quickly built a legacy of her own. A 14-time women's champion, Charlotte has delivered match after match in WWE's main events. showcasing her incredible athleticism, storytelling ability, and ability to elevate everyone she competes with. Whether in the main event of WrestleMania or NXT TakeOver, Flair has proven herself to be one of the best wrestlers of her generation. Charlotte's impressive championship resume, in-ring ability, and ability to rise to the occasion in high-pressure moments place her among the all-time greats. Her accomplishments in WWE are unmatched, and her 14 women's championship titles will make her a shoo-in as a future Hall of Famer. At number 2, one of the most iconic figures in women's wrestling, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus is a 7-time WWE Women's Champion and one of the most influential figures in the evolution of women's wrestling. Initially starting as a fitness model, Trish quickly developed into one of the best female performers in the ring. Her rivalry with Lita, her matches with Mickie James, and her ability to seamlessly transition between face and heel made her one of WWE's most valuable stars. Even after her retirement, she remains one of the most beloved figures in wrestling history. Trish's contributions to WWE during the early 2000s, her championship reigns, and her role in elevating women's wrestling to new heights make her one of the all-time greats. And finally, at number 1, the greatest female wrestler of all time, the fabulous Moolah. The fabulous Moolah is a pioneer and the most dominant female wrestler of her era. Holding the women's championship for an astonishing 28 years, Moolah became synonymous with women's wrestling for decades. She trained many of the next generation of wrestlers and helped shape the early years of the women's division. While her legacy is complicated due to controversies surrounding her business practices, her impact on the industry is undeniable. She was the cornerstone of women's wrestling long before it gained the mainstream spotlight it has today. The reason why the fabulous Moolah is number 1 on the list is because of her historic reign, influence on future generations, and role in shaping the early landscape of women's wrestling give her the top spot on our list. And there you have it, our list of the top 10 female wrestlers of all time. Did we miss anyone? Who's your number 1? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing wrestling content here on Wrestling Backlash. Until next time.